Welcome back, fellow tacticians. And for today's video, I wanted to address something that I get asked all of the time in multiple different ways. And that is simply, is X purchase worth it? And I hate that question. And the reason I hate that question isn't because I hate questions or I hate you asking me, but it's because the word worth is very subjective. I can't tell you if, X game is worth it, and then you go out and you buy it, right, and you hate it, right? I can kind of give you some arbitrary worth values. Like, I think a game that you get $1 an hour playtime out of, that's worth, right? But if you don't enjoy it, it's not worth. And that really fundamentally comes down to what this game is holistically, right? If you want to spend money on it, by all means, go ahead. I never tell you not to. I can't tell you what's worth because I don't know what you enjoy. If you enjoy the game, you want to spend money on it, play the game and spend money on it. That's entirely up to you. But what I will show you in this video is some things that I think get you more bang for the buck. Things that I don't think necessarily have a good correlative value in the sense of Blackstone to X currency, to different valuations across the board, how you were able to get the most bang for your buck. And I know that's a very convoluted and shotgun approach to explaining the intro to this video, and I'm sorry. But I just really wanted the caveat. Now, we looking at the daily deals right here, we have this orc shipment in right here. We have the ancient crates, which I can't say I've ever bought one, and I haven't really done a great breakdown on any of them either. But just looking at it here, I don't like it because there's too much question marks around it. That's why I've never bought one. I hate gambling. If you like gambling, more power to you. I don't even know if you're able to, I mean, with legendary upgrades, and you look at it here, 1800, if you get 2 legendary upgrades, could technically be worth it because these are about, 175 a piece. And we're going to break all that down. I'm just kind of avoiding the crates for right now, but I want to take a look at the Blackstone. And the coins I feel are pretty self-explanatory as well. But let's hop into it, right, and we'll take a look at the money math. And I built a nice little PowerPoint, so we're not doing actual in-game footage. For the most part, we're going to be jumping into this. So, Blackstone valuation. Now, a giant caveat here is this also is very subjective. If you live in a different country, even if you do live in a different country, if you're playing on Apple versus Android, right, there could be different tax valuations going into that. I had no idea before I started making this video how different things are, and I think we're going to save breaking that entirely down into a different video for another time. But, if you're playing in, Jordan, for example, somebody sent me their specific instance, and they're playing on Apple, right? They're literally paying $18 more for a $100 purchase, just because of how that taxation works, right? And the currency exchange rates. I saw one individual playing in Great Britain, and all of his Blackstone purchases here were the exact same price as mine in pounds. Let me pull that up. So he saw everything else that I see, $1.99, but it was a pound instead of a US dollar. I saw another individual also playing on Great Britain, but he was playing on Android, and his prices were cheaper. So it's wild. I do want to do a full breakdown on that at another time, but here I show you just in US dollars. You can use these comparison rates, and I can show you how to do the math if you want to try to figure out what's going on for your currency system. As always, if you're not great with math or if you're not comfortable doing this or you have questions, my DMs are open. I don't have my Discord handle or anything pulled up in this video. I can pull that up here for you in a little bit if you need it. So, actually, just kidding, I do have it pulled up. I never hit the transition button. So, there, it's gone. If you need it, reference it, DM me, completely fine. So, I'm showing you all the different Blackstone purchases that you see right here. All of these just put in a little table for you. So if I buy the $200 one, every dollar that I spend, I'm getting 100 Blackstone. If I buy the $100 one, every dollar that I spend, I'm getting 145 Blackstone. So you are gaining an efficiency value of, or 45% increase, essentially. Which it's good, but it's kind of the whole gimmick of the system, right? If you spend more now, you get more value, so you should never do it. And honestly, it's something that I kick myself in the ass for all the time. Is typically if I buy Blackstone, I buy it at the $20 purchase value. But, 5 of those purchases that I make, man, I should have just done the $100 one. But you don't think about it. You nickel and dime yourself into a sunken cost fallacy. And that's how a lot of mobile games work. I'm not saying that what Snowprint's doing is predatory outside of the scope of what normal mobile games do. This is just the formula that they have moved towards and they're doing. And honestly, and like I said, this is not a criticism of Snowprint. Don't take it that way. This is a criticism of the system as an entire whole. And they're just, copying the formula that a lot of other games do because it works, right? The entire system of having a third-party currency, right? A currency that is inherent to the game has pros and cons to it as a whole as well, right? Let's look at it from the light side of the angle, right? Yeah, cool. It allows the developers to give you money without giving you money, right? If they give you gems, or if they give you diamonds, or if they give you Blackstone, right? They're not giving you money, but they are, right? It's just you can't return cash that out. It's like, so if they give us, 550 Blackstone, right? They gave us $5, but they didn't give us $5. They gave us $5 worth of something, or whatever it would be for your currency, which is cool. They're allowed to do that. But it would be a lot better for you as a consumer if they just kept it in US dollars or Jordanian or Canadian or the pound, because it doesn't obfuscate things. Now, when you have a third-party system pushing stuff, then it's obfuscated. You don't exactly know off the top of your head, if I buy an Epic Chaos badge right now, how much is that Chaos badge, right? Now, you could do some quick mental math in your head, and you go, oh yeah, it's like, $1.20. Right, for me, right? That's $1.20, right? But you don't think about that in the moment. Or maybe you do, maybe you don't. But, that's the whole intent of it. I'm not going to go, oh, a Rune of Fate. I have 3,000 Blackstone. Easy. I'll just buy one. Or I'll buy 3, right? That's easy. But that's 450 Blackstone. I just bought 3 items, 1/3 of an upgrade for $5. $5. For that. And, you look at some of the other values, and one of the reasons I hype up the Yarick purchase that you get for new players is because $5 gets you a whole ass champion that you can't get in any other format, right? And ultimately, is it worth it to you, right? After this video, I hope you're able to take away that you can look at this Frostblade right here and realize that you're spending close to close to $15, $16 for one upgrade. Not a character, just an upgrade to the character. Now, it's a compound factor in the valuation of worth, and the reason is because it's time, right? Time is money, and in this case, money is time. I can spend $15 and save myself however much time it grinds that item, right? Or here, Runes of Fate, right? And we're not going to talk about it too in depth in this video. But Runes of Fate, right? How do I get them? Fantastic. Actually, I think I farmed out all of them on this character, or this account. But let's take at the best drop rate valuation, which I think is in Indominus Mirror, right? I think I've already farmed them all out. Unfortunately, we will see. Sorry, I had a little bit more structure planned for this one. Here we go. Runes of Fate. 40% chance. Cool. 40% chance, right? And that would be 30 energy. So, based on that, if I could do all of these battles at a 40% chance, right? Can't. Well, I can, but it's only 3. That's 30 energy, right? And then I have a 40% chance of getting it, so roughly every one battle, I should be able to get one roughly a day, a little bit better than one a day, so 1 per 30 energy, right? 30 energy. And that's 1 times 30 is 30, so. But how much time does it take 30 energy to refresh? 180. 180 minutes. Divided by, 60. It's 3 hours. So, technically, in this case, right, on average, one of these is 3 hours. So you're spending about $1.50 in this case for an hour or 3 hours. $1.50 for 3 hours. However you want to look at that and however you want to value your time and break down that. Now, the reason I pull up this chart, I just wanted to show up the valuation of how Blackstone does scale incrementally. So, there's going to be some deltas in some of the math, right? Now, the daily Blackstone Pass, right? Daily Blackstone Pass gives you 200 Blackstone up front with 60 each day for 30 days, right? This costs $5 US. Total Blackstone comes out to 2,000, right, over time. So $1 equals 400 Blackstone, which is, 3 times, a little under 3 times as good, or a little over 3 times as good, than the biggest Blackstone purchase here. So if you're buying Blackstone ever, get the daily Blackstone Pass. 100% worth it. The valuation is great. It's just, unfortunately, it doesn't work with the millennial mindset of, I'm getting it all now. Right? Or, the new generation mindset of I want it now. I fall prey to that. I'm not a very patient person. It's part of the reason that my videos are so rushed, right? I'm like, I want to get it out now. I want to get it out now. That, and I just don't have the time to do any sort of quality or editing, unfortunately. But I've talked about that before. So, daily Blackstone Pass, beautiful. Energy valuation. I want to talk about that. And I talked about how much time money is, right? And then you can do that whole math and conversion for yourself. Time is money. Money is time. 25 Blackstone, right? For the purchase. You could watch the ad for this. I recommend you watch the ad for this unless you're trying to refresh your daily store for something. 1 Blackstone equals 2 energy. Now, the same valuation does increase, or does stay the same for the 50 Blackstone purchase. And the reason the numbers look a little bit different there is because the 25 Blackstone purchase or the ad only gives you 50 energy instead of 100. If it gave you 100, then it would be 1 Blackstone to 4 energy, which, Snowprint, come on. Toss us a bone, give us the 50 extra energy for the first one, please. Thank you. I will criticize you for that. But 50 Blackstone, 2 energy. Now you start really... You have to flip the script. You have to flip the numbers around because you're no longer getting a great valuation here. 1 energy now equals 1.1 Blackstone. At 250, it's 1 energy equals 2.5 Blackstone. 500, so on and so forth. So you really, really see how that starts incrementing insanely in your, I guess, lack of favor. But 1,000 Blackstone, you're looking at getting 100 energy, right? We'll pull up the calculator again. I should have structured this out a bit better, and I'm sorry. All right, you're getting 100 energy times 6, because it takes 6 minutes divided by 60, right? That's 10 hours. You are spending 1,000 Blackstone, right? Which is a little under, $10, so it's right around $8, right? Divided by 8. That's right around the valuation that you're looking at there, right? $8 divided by the 10 hours, so kind of how it all maths out. Now, I personally don't like to do the 500 to 1,000 Blackstone refresh if I can help it, and which you can always help it. You can always help it, but sometimes you get into the state of the game where you're getting a lot of fear of missing out, and I've fallen prey to this. If anybody has watched my videos or just seen me post in Discord, I've unlocked Ulf and Tiark at Legendary, right? I was like, I want them good. I want them bad. I need them. Were they worth it? once again, subjective. If you're somebody that really likes the Space Wolves, or, you know, eventually when Ragnar comes out, the Space Wolves might be just absolutely kick-ass. But, you know, it depends on what your game mood is, what you prefer to do, right? Like, for me, I'm a very big guild raid player, right? Y'all know this. I hype it up all the time. You know, we're sitting here at, I think, rank 8 right now. Like, I love guild raids. If this ever decides to load. Oh, just kidding. We dropped down to 10. So for me, Ulf and Tiark, not really worth it. But, you know, I didn't know that. I didn't know if they were going to be great, they were going to be bad. We don't really have a lot of foresight. And also, outside of rec orders, there's no other way to get those characters. So there's a lot of fear of missing out built into the game, right? And we could take a look at this, right? Just since I started playing, which you know, hasn't been that long. Let's take a look at every single character here. Malgan Ra, fear of missing out. Granted, now put in the guild store. That's a big win for you, Snowprint. Very smart move. Character is no longer obtainable in a legendary release event. You gave people a way to get that character until such time that you know, the rest of the Samhain campaign comes out. Especially since Malgan Ra is so crucial. Ravos, rec orders, certain events that you may or may not have been around for, right? Going through, Ra's with a completely random. Helbrecht, can farm it out. Anshi, legendary release event. Some fear of missing out built into that. Want to get your character as fast as possible. Ulf, fear of missing out. Granted, has a quest come out every now and again. Darkstrider had an event. Shoso, battle pass, right? A lot of fear of missing out built into these characters because there's no other way to get these characters. No other way to get Anshi at the moment. Or Shoso. And now, granted, pulling up the legendary release characters is a little unfair. But there's no way to get the Death Guard. No way to get the Death Guard in the game. There's no way to get Isabella outside of her quest and battle pass. There's no way to get Tiark, who was a character release event. There was the battle pass for Azrael, which you needed the premium battle pass for, so some fear of missing out there. Death Guard, Malladus. Okay, I said there's no way to get any of the Death Guard. I lied. Malladus is a guild reward. Pestilon, granted, hasn't had a quest, but, you know, still applies there, right? Arjak, Northrop, Morven Val is completely reliant on requisition orders. You know, legendary release event. So, the fear of missing out makes you want to buy that 500, that 1,000 Blackstone energy refreshes, right? Personally, I'm falling prey to it right now. There's a lot of speculation that the Northrop will be really important to the meta. There's a lot of speculation. You combine the Northrop with Abraxas, you get a lot of stacks out. At rank 50, the Northrop is dealing 2,200 damage per stack, which, you know, that's psychic damage, so it's 100% pierce. 2,200 times 15, man, that's 3,300 damage that it's dealing. Each hit. Piercing, 100% piercing. Now, granted, it's going to take a little bit to stack it that high, but man, that's nasty. I want him legendary. I want it legendary. So I might be doing 500,000 Blackstone refreshes. I might be getting it. Y'all know I wail out on this game. It's no secret. That's why I do it. It's how my brain works. I'm like, I want it now. Daily offer. There's a lot of different daily offers out there, right? But I want to take a look at some of the valuation here, right? 200 Blackstone can be valued anywhere from 1.3 to $2 US. And, you know, we talked about that. That's the difference of buying a $2 Blackstone purchase or the $100 Blackstone purchase. I imagine you're probably most likely going to be buying the $2 more so than you are the $100. Probably. Maybe somewhere in the middle, like a 10 to 20, right? So it's going to be somewhere in the middle of that valuation. 64 energy. We did the breakdown earlier, and the reason I wanted to do that breakdown earlier is so you could see how it could come in. Now, 64 energy could be anywhere from 34 Blackstone if you buy the 50, or it could be 640 Blackstone. Huge jump if you buy the 1,000. Now, ultimately, it's going to be somewhere in the middle. So this offer can be anywhere worth about $2.30 to about $8.40, right? Or you just buy $5 Also, and gets you 550 Blackstone, which leaves you with a 250 energy refresh. You get 200 Blackstone, and you get 100 extra Blackstone. So this is ultimately only worth it if you need more energy today and haven't already used your 250 refresh. Yes, there is a typo there, and my camera is in the way. I apologize. If that happens at any other point, let me know. But we'll go ahead and showcase off my little typo right there. So that's my breakdown on the valuation. So understand what you're paying for, right? Like, understand, are you getting the best value? Now, for me, right, if I'm doing 1,000 energy refresh, or if I'm completely capped out on energy for the day, boom, this is automatically worth it, right? Hell yeah. But if you're one of those players that does a 110 energy refresh a day, right? Boom, go ahead and pick this up. There's more value to this. Now, I didn't factor in the raid tokens because I think the raid tokens are absolutely fucking worthless. Personal opinion, especially now that they've increased the daily value to start incorporating them in and giving you 100 a week. My personal opinion, they're worthless, especially since you should be doing things a lot more manual. Now, if you're a completely autonomous player, right, you're not really manually doing everything, a little bit different, but my thoughts on it. All right, go ahead and shift my stuff over a little bit. XP valuation. Now, this is more for the bigger players. Because experience in this game is one of the huge walls that you need to get over. And I know I've showcased this plenty of times in my videos, but we'll take a look at it again real quick, right? I mean, for every single diamond character right now, if I want to get them stronger, we need more experience, right? Level 47 to increase the guardsmen. Look how strong they get. I need 18,000 more experience to get there. 20,000. 15,000, right? You see the trend. Now let's take a look. Archimados. Can't get those items. Aethana. Waiting on experience, except I just leveled her up, dropped some tomes. Helbrecht. Harkin. Angrax. Anshi. You see it. I'm not able to do a lot of progression. And mind you, I've been in worse states. Where I just straight up had none of the energy, or none of the experience, but that's the reason I wanted to break this down. I consider myself a larger player. I think this is pretty important to show you. So, XP valuation. If you buy in with guild credits, now I did a little bit of math on the guild credits. Naturally, you're going to generate them, whether from the season reward chest, killing bosses, etc., 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 etc. There's other ways to get them outside of the daily pass, but I use that daily pass as kind of the metric to assign a gold valuation or a dollar valuation. So a large tome is 300 guild credits. It's worth about $1.60. 3 small tomes is 170 guild credits. It's worth about 97 cents. Now a large tome is $41.66 experience per guild credit, which means you're spending about $1 equals about 7,500 experience. But the small tomes actually give you better valuation. So it's 44 experience per guild credit. And I should have put experience in there. I'm sorry. That means $1 equals about 4,000 more experience. Now, here's the kicker. And why you can't just always buy the small tomes. Well, one, it's a little bit more expensive to apply the small tomes in terms of gold. And I don't think I do a great gold breakdown in this video, and I'm sorry. So if you look at it here, 12,500 costs 500, whereas this costs, 150 gold valuation. So you do the math. Ultimately, you save more gold by using the bigger tomes. But also, you only get 1 guild refresh a day. That means I can buy a Codex of War and I can buy 3 small tomes of War, but I can only refresh once and buy them one more time. So if you're sending on an abundance, right, to get the most valuation, you have to buy both. But you should always prioritize the tomes of War, in my personal opinion, unless gold is a huge limiting factor for you, right? Because you're getting 600 a day, right? You would still need to buy the codexes. So, just a little bit of my thoughts. Now, I feel like the $100 that you spend and what you get out of it is pretty worth it, in my personal opinion. I don't do the breakdown of the valuation throughout the rest of the shop. I just didn't feel like it was going to be that beneficial. But I feel like that $100 is, if you're whaling out, it's one of the best ways to whale out, 100%. Now let's take a look at the weekend daily shop. Hopefully I got these numbers right. I know it's not the weekend right now. I could have waited 5 hours to publish this video and double check it. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm sorry. But you get a lot more bang for your buck from the weekend daily shop if you correlate it to Blackstone, right? 175 Blackstone for the large tome is 87 cents. So you already see that you're saving based on the valuation of the pass, right? You're saving, half your price right there. And not so big for the small tomes, but it's pretty damn close. Now, the valuation here is flipped on its head. The large tomes are actually more cost efficient, US dollar wise, than the small tomes. Now, here's the thing. Here's the kicker, right? How you're once again relying on RNG here to put it in the shop, right? You watch your ads to get your refresh deals, and then boom, if you start spending 50 Blackstone to try to get some more books in here, that those numbers shift real quick. So instead of this being 175 Blackstone, boom, it's now 225 Blackstone, right? It's now 225 Blackstone. And actually, I think I had these numbers wrong. Like that's not making sense for me in my brain right now. I think you need to multiply these numbers by 2. Let me go ahead and fix that. I lied. I don't know why I have those numbers wrong. So I think that's $1.84. No, $1.60 or 74, and then $1.30 roughly. Okay, sorry about that. That does change things a little bit. Mistakes were made. Don't crucify me. So actually, you get more XP valuation from the guild store. I lied. Guild store. And that also means that this math over here was wrong too. This math is wrong here too. So it's roughly the same. 7,000-ish, right? And then like 6,500-ish. So, and then ish. I'm not gonna do the math. I'm not gonna slow you down here, but so you know what you get. And I apologize. I should edit this out, but I don't really have the time. So there you go. There you go. That's embarrassing. Cool. Let's take a look at the guild offer. And this one pops up every weekend. 500 guild credits is $2.7 US based on the previous valuation that we did breaking down the pass. 30 energy could be anywhere from 15 to 300 Blackstone, depending. We talked about this. So it could be anywhere from 7 cents to 1.5 US. Right? And that's, once again, a little off. I don't know how I did this Blackstone math. What am I doing right here? So that should be $3 US. Was I like half asleep when I did this? So 14 cents up to US dollars. 350, so it can value. Yeah, okay, I think, yeah, that one's right. I got that one right. All right. Cool. Interesting. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I apologize. Cool. But the ultimate thing is it's right around valuation. And if you factor the rewards for your guild, everybody gets 435 extra credits. It's worth it's right on value. It's roughly right on value. So I think this is a good deal, right? Now you'll also see these faction boosters coming into play. And they'll step up and increment as your account grows. I show you the baby account, I show you the mid account, and I show you my main account. So we know for sure that I'm getting those engrams, right? And let me move this up in transition. I know that we're getting these engrams. That's $450 or 450 Blackstone, right? So instantly we know that $24 of this purchase is worth, or $5 of this purchase is worth, right, compared to the arbitrary values that they set on everything. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really hard to break it down and assign value because there's so much RNG, right? And they could be things that you need versus things that you don't need. I don't like to gamble on them. I can't recommend that you buy them, but if you want, sure. Absolutely. There are some miscellaneous items in the shop. You have the badges, right? Coming down to 14 Blackstone, 30 Blackstone, 60 Blackstone, 120, and 240 per. Now, once again, I just want you to keep in mind that if you're spending and buying a legendary badge, you're spending about $2 to get yourself a legendary badge. And that's the big thing that I want y'all to break down. Let's save that so we have the corrected version. Now, let's pull up all my accounts. We've got the clean account. That's the low account. We'll put the main account right there on the right side. And we'll bring up the alternate account in the middle. Let's take a look at some of these deals, shall we? And here's the biggest thing that I want you to look at. Is things worth? I can't say that for you. I can't tell you if something is worth. But I want you to keep in mind what you're buying, how much you're spending, right? This upgrade over here, we already talked about it. It's like $15. And let's get my camera out of the way and somewhere that's not going to be right in the middle of everything. Sorry about that. Right? That's $15 for an item. If you think it's worth it, buy it. If you don't. Personally, I feel like that's a little overpriced, right? I could spend 4 of those and buy Baldur's Gate, right? It's up to you. Now, you could do a valuation and calculate these and what they're off. Typically, I think these gold values are pretty good. I like picking them up when possible. Even if I don't necessarily need them right now, I probably will here soon. Right? Maybe not the ones in the middle so much. They're right on value, right? You don't get a discount. But you do get a discount. There is a discount there, right? This is 80 cents an upgrade, right? 80 cents compared to $15. I wouldn't mind grabbing that. I just don't really care for Sark right now. I'm sure other people could use it. I'm not a big fan of the Forge badges. I'm not a big fan of the entire system, right? But you get 5 Forge badges. You can buy it twice, right? But, you're looking at that right now. It's about $12. $12 US, roughly. Is it worth it to you? Right? And the same thing for these Forge badges right here. Now, the thing I want to take a look at is, this is 35 cents, cool, but do I really need an uncommon crit item? No. Typically, I only really care about big boy items. But, that's, what, $8 for a knife? $8 for a knife. It's entirely up to you. Here, we have 100 Blackstone and a rec order. Rec orders are worth about 300 Blackstone. So 400 Blackstone total, right? 400 Blackstone total. That's going to put your valuation at roughly $4-ish, right? So is that extra dollar worth the 10 shards? Let's take a look at it. Oh, never mind. It doesn't break it down. It could be any rarity. I'm sure there's some sort of valuation that needs to come into here and really break that down and show you what the chances are for getting anything. It might be completely random across the board. But here's the arbitrary valuation to it. Is 10 shards for Celestine as worth as 10 shards for Thutmose? Yes. In my personal opinion, yes. Because what are the chances I'm going to start farming Celestine out right now versus the chances I'm farming Thutmose out right now, right? And you take a look at Thutmose, we'll pull up our good old trusty calculator once again, right? We need 7 Thutmose shards, getting them at about 3 a day, right? So 2.33 times, the energy that it would take to get it, right? So we get about 2.3 shards a day. It's kind of worth it. Kind of worth it in my opinion, right? You start comparing that to the energy valuation. There's a lot of math that you can do and try to figure it out. But ultimately, yes, there's all of these numbers and everything that you can do. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. There's some things that I personally value over others, right? Do I want this Eldari crate? Oh, that's a really great crate, right? You get Runes of Fate. We know that that's $4.50 worth of something. A Citronome. All these other great upgrades. Boom, we get the badges. We know that that's worth $2.40, roughly. We know that's another $2.40. We know that that's a little bit less. It's about $1.80, right? So, let's see. $5, $6.80. Once again, you're looking at, that's about $1.20, right? So, $8, $9. Actually, it might not come in to be worth it. But you know exactly what you're getting. I like not gambling there. That's nice, right? And 3 of these Runes of Fate could take you, a day or 2 to get. If you're really trying to crunch, you really have something that you're working towards real quick. How much is your time worth it? How much is your patience worth it? And how much is your sanity worth it? That's what it boils down to. Is it worth $14? Arbitrary. Now, one thing I will say is 100% worth. Just correlating valuation, right? If you're going to buy Blackstone, if you're going to buy $20 worth of Blackstone, you might as well buy this pack right here and get your biomass. Why? Because it's the same amount of Blackstone that you get otherwise. Now, granted, not necessarily for this account, right? Because we haven't bought any Blackstone on it. This is the mostly free-to-play account. I did buy the $2 one because the valuation was just great. I get 400 Blackstone, and then my main account gets 200 Blackstone because it's the refer a friend. Had to. But boom, 300 extra biomass for it. Might as well. Right? Ball scoreboards. Is this worth it? If I want to really do the campaign as fast as possible, right? But there is no way it's worth it if I don't grab Gibbous Scraps and Snap a Rekka first. But once again, what if I want to jump right on into it? So ultimately, I feel like this entire video, it's about 50 minutes of me saying, it depends, lawyer answer, right? But it does. It really does. What's worth it for you isn't worth it for somebody else. And it's really hard to ask someone, and it's really hard for somebody to answer, is this worth? It really is, because it's subjective. Now, I will always give my thoughts on if I think it's worth it to me. In every single one of my videos, if I see a pack pop up, right, is this worth it to me? And whether or not I'd recommend you get it. Don't take it to heart, right? Don't feel ashamed. Like, oh, well, he said it wasn't worth it and I already bought it. Fuck, I messed up. If you thought it was worth it at the time, cool, right? It does feel damn bad trying to gamble, though, and it just not paying out. Like, oh, man, I have a chance to get, a legendary badge versus a common or a rare badge or an epic badge. And you get the epic badge. You're like, oh, man, I shouldn't have done it, right? That's gambling. Sometimes it pays out, sometimes it doesn't. But also at the end of the day, like, you're not really getting, a great return on investment. So keep that in mind, right? And, serious topic. If you do have a gambling addiction, reach out to somebody. I personally am immune to it, but I've seen it destroy lives. Gambling addiction is very serious and should be taken very seriously. There's hotlines that you can call, and I'll pull that up right now. Granted, it's U.S., I don't know, but there is the National Gambling Problem Hotline. You can call that 24/7, 100% confidential. Okay? And I know I normally don't get this serious, but I do this channel for y'all, right? I want y'all to have fun playing this game. I want you to enjoy the process, and I want this game to grow. I do, because the more it grows, the better it is for me, the longer I get to keep playing and enjoying it. But with that being said, make sure you're eating. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you are not spending critical money that you otherwise need to survive to play this game. And that is how I'll end this one off. A little bit of a sour note. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all, all of y'all, for watching these videos. Hopefully you got something good out of this. Yeah, it was just me ranting for about 40 minutes and kind of ending on a sour note. So I'll go ahead and put this back up. Ladies and gentlemen, peace.